Soccer is number one, and then soccer is number two, and soccer is number three, followed by field hockey, basketball, handball. Really, baseball is barely known here.
Baseball might be America's pastime, but to much of Europe it's foreign and, well, the odd man out.
Yeah, especially like in school, when you tell everybody, okay, I'm playing baseball, everybody's like, all right, that's weird, I never heard of that.
People would just frown and laugh about it, like, you know, you're over here playing a sport no one knows about, talks about.
That's something MLB Europe is working to change.
We need to create content that resonates with a European audience, which is different from a US audience. But we also need role models. And for MLB, Max Kepler is just about the perfect role model.
It gave me goosebumps just to see that I have the capability to make an impact to, you know, the baseball community. You can tell by the smiling kids, you know, that you're affecting them, so it's an honor.
Max has quickly become baseball's German ambassador. His PR tour across Europe last fall was to promote the game he loves to his homeland.
Hey everybody, hey, 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 hey.
But it became so much more.
How you been? A lot of emotions for sure, good emotions. At first, when I walked in and saw everybody, familiar faces, new faces, the gym that, you know, I was raised in, I was in a positive shock at first. Like, I just froze and had to like take everything in and look around.
Wow, this is crazy. What's up?
It's Max Kepler's homecoming, and we are long for the tour.
It was right over there on the other side of the stairs.
We'll meet the cast of characters who played a role in raising Max.
I was Max's kindergarten teacher in 1998.
Ninth grade basketball coach.
English teacher at the John F. Kennedy School.
Max's first baseball coach.
I'm the father of Max Kepler, and we are in a very unusual situation because we're in the back of the production of Nutcracker.
And peek behind the curtain into his past.
The studio is floor 4, where the life of Max began, because that was the place I stood, and Kathy came through that door there. This is the room I saw her first time.
Once the curtains open, you can make errors, you can make mistakes, you can fall on stage, but you just gotta stick with the plan and finish the show. And yeah, the show always must go on.
Fly ball, right field corner, Kepler chasing it down, a tremendous running catch.
Twins territory is familiar with the routes Max Kepler takes to catch a fly ball. But what about his journey to the big leagues? We've traveled over 4,000 miles to give you an inside look at the making of Max Kepler. Welcome to Germany. So Kellum, I've traveled here to Europe to take in what we're calling Max Kepler, the PR tour across Europe. Can you explain what we're trying to accomplish and the goals of this trip?
Sure. 2019 has been a huge year for Major League Baseball in Europe. For the first time, we staged regular season games in Europe, in London, between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. It was a fantastic event, but it also provided us with a fantastic platform to really drive forward the development of Major League Baseball in Europe. And there's a number of different things that we need to do to kind of capitalize on that platform. We need to do more events. We need to create content that resonates with a European audience, which is different from a US audience. We need to invest in participation programs, get more kids in more schools playing baseball. But we also need role models. And for MLB, Max Kepler is just about the perfect role model. He's young, he's smart, he's eloquent, he's committed, he's clearly super talented. He made his way through the European system, and now he's absolutely flying in the majors. He really is a perfect example, and this trip is about kind of starting to tell that story to a wider audience. Whether it's a guy reading a newspaper in a cafe in Munich, sees an interview with him and thinks, okay, I might follow that now, and then might follow the Twins. Or whether it's someone on social media who sees a Twins cap and thinks, that's pretty cool, I want to get me one of them. Or perhaps most importantly, a kid in a school in Berlin who sees Max over the next few days and realizes, hey, I actually could be the next Max Kepler. There is a journey for me to take. And you know, that is kind of the inspirational story of like a genuine MLB superstar that we're here to tell.
So you have a Twins jersey, you're waiting in line here to meet Max Kepler. Can you explain how big of a fan you are of baseball and what Max Kepler means to Germany?
I'm a really big fan, and Max Kepler means a lot to me.
Hi, alles klar? Wie geht's? Servus, alles bestens?
Du musst es sehen. It brought the German baseball to the USA, and that's what I really like. And then here's the new Dirk Nowitzki, I guess.
When Dirk started, we really saw a rise of attention for the NBA. Baseball, now the last 2 years, we're seeing that it gets more and more popular. People come to our website or watch to see the normal sports coverage because now they know, oh, there's a German guy, he's really good, he's breaking some records. He's not just the German who's number 40 at the team, but he's really making an impact.
Coming up on The Pursuit, it's back to school for Max.
This is crazy. What's up?
I think that was those visits to the hallway, to taking him back to his own past, not MLB past, not baseball past, but human past.
You're watching From Berlin to the Bigs on Fox Sports North. Berlin is Germany's capital. Throughout the city there are hints of its troubled past, but there's a modern beauty as well. This is Max's hometown.
Vibrant. You can walk anywhere you want, pretty much. Some of the best food I've eaten, some of the most honest people I've met. It's my home, you know. I see myself living there after I get done playing someday. Yeah, I guess I have enough pride to ink my body with the zip code, so yeah, it's home.
030 was an obvious stop on Max's European PR tour, and in East Berlin we found a place that young Max Kepler knew very well.
So this picture would have been taken right back here against the wall. So the school was built as a German-American entity in that they wanted German and American citizens to have their kids go to school together. It was really meant for understanding between two cultures. So here's Max again.
Max's elementary school experience was a lot different than the average American Little Leaguers. Max went here, John F. Kennedy, a German-American bilingual community school. It's safe to say Max fell in love with sports right here.
I do recall, and it was many years ago, but my children were just starting Little League and we had a tryout day. And I remember at the very end, it was kind of a rainy, gray day, and this boy was watching very curiously from the side, clinging to his mother. And we invited him to run the bases with us.
He met Max and he goes, "Hey, yeah, Max, have you ever played baseball?" Max was like, "Well, my granddad throws the ball with me, when I'm in San Antonio." And my dad did. He was probably the first one that was putting the baseball in his hand. But anyway, Chad said, "Hey, let's run the bases, let's run the bases." And Max was like, "Oh, no."
And he reluctantly came out and ran the bases. And he seemed to have a smile on his face. That's how it started. One of the what-if questions of the day for Max is, what if he had not run those bases?
Well, we know Max grew up here and he walked these halls years ago, but
Indeed.
What can you tell us about Max, the student, and what does it mean to have him back?
Well, it's so exciting for everybody. I think you'll notice a little excitement in the gym when we get there, finally. That's right around the corner. But first, we're going to take a little walk through the halls where you would have walked. You probably came to this food counter every now and then.
The vending machines are gone.
The vending machines? Oh, I'm sorry. Can we get new vending machines for Max?
You remember, did you have the same locker throughout?
Yeah, throughout high school. It was right over there on the other side of the stairs. It was the top row, I want to say. One of these guys.
And it's nuts when we change classes because they get food, they have a little 7-minute break, and their Germans are always munching in between classes. Maybe you brought a little box of sandwiches.
Oh, I had plenty of snacks, yeah.
I bet.
Mom supplied.
This is Mr. Max Kepler.
What's up, guys? Hi. How's class going today? Good? Yeah? What class is this, actually? English.
This is a classroom where I had my first English classroom, and Max Kepler was a part of this class. He actually sat right here, and I still remember him in terms of being this shy kid. But I also knew, after having a conversation with him one-on-one, I found out that he played baseball, and so there was a connection. And then I found out that he was leaving in mid-year of 9th grade year, and so I asked him, I said, "Hey, grab your glove, we will go out into the sport field and play catch." The next day, we went out there, very cold here in Berlin, and then we played catch, and from that moment on, I said, that boy has some skills.
Well, what would you tell him about hard work, Max?
Stay focused, stay locked in. But yeah, have fun along the way, if you can, always.
Except in my class.
Yeah, right here, this guy. 101. Wow.
He was one of the biggest kids. He was tall.
Smells the same. That's one thing I feel like everyone remembers is aromas, memories come back through smell.
You know, very active and very athletic, but he was also really quiet. Kind of a tradition at our school is at the end of the school year, oftentimes one of the parents asks all the families to have their kids make a little remembrance card for the teacher. And so this is the one I got from Max, and he also made a picture on the back as well, so.
Wow, this is crazy. What's up?
To be quite honest, I was surprised that he still looks like kind of a student. I thought he would be more mature, just from looking at him. But I was also surprised that he was so nice and just stopped by. I mean, I was standing here and he walked past me and then saw me, stopped, came back, shook my hand. I thought that was very nice. I felt very honored.
Hey, alles klar. How are you? What's going on?
It was a lot of emotions for sure, good emotions.
I'm at a loss for words.
When I walked in and saw everybody, familiar faces, new faces.
How you been?
Hi, Max.
Good to see you again. It's been forever. The gym that I was raised in, I was in a positive shock at first. Like I just froze and had to take everything in and look around. But it was all amazing. The way they set it up, couldn't have asked for better people around at that school.
He had said earlier in the interview that he was kind of overwhelmed by this, and I think that was those visits to the hallway, to taking him back to his own past, not MLB past, not baseball past, but human past.
Yeah, it brings back a lot. It's crazy.
And the thing you miss most about Berlin?
A lot. I'd have to say the culture, the people, the food, the city, everything about it. I miss everything about it.
When I asked him what he missed most about Berlin, and he started talking about not just the friendships, not just the school, but the culture, the civility of the Germans, his favorite food, etc. I could tell that that meant a lot to him, and if we touched his heart just a little bit, just like he's touched ours and with our pride, then that's a fair exchange. I hope it was good for him. It was certainly good for us, for our school, for Berlin, and for baseball.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Coming up on From Berlin to the Bigs, baseball and ballet, they have more in common than you think.
It's about seconds, either on stage or wherever he is. You have like these 2-3 seconds to do it right. But that's the magic of it.
The show must go on, next on Fox Sports North. What do you get when you cross the land of fields with the Lone Star State? The world of Max. His father, Marek, grew up in Poland. His mother, Kathy, is from Texas. The two met in the Berlin Ballet. Their dedication and discipline left a lasting impression on Max.
They would use the correlation of ballet to baseball, as in the show must go on. Once the curtains open, you can make errors, you can make mistakes, you can fall on stage, but you just gotta stick with the plan and finish the show. The show always must go on.
Many people say Max is a product of his upbringing, so what better place to find out than the Opera House where Max's parents met? Baseball and ballet have a lot more in common than you'd think. As they say, the air is thinner at the top.
I'm thinking Mount Sinai. You know what I mean? The higher you go, it's harder. It's harder to get up there. We're all down here on the base level, but how many people can actually get up to that point, way up there? And all the adversity, all the challenge, it's definitely harder the higher you go, especially with Max. Like now, if somebody says, wow, you've made it, he doesn't look at it that way. He's like, I'm working every day to get better and better and better and stay healthy. And that's exactly how it is in the ballet.
In the ballet world, going out on stage and as a principal dancer to show that everything is fine, that people expect you to be, let's say, perfect. I think for Max it's the same way, but in another side. You prepare yourself, you train for months, for weeks, for hours. It's about seconds, either on stage or wherever he is. You have like these 2-3 seconds to do it right. So I find in this moment it's very similar, the responsibility and the pressure. But that's the magic of it.
Kepler does it, a walk-off winner in 17 innings.
I'm the father of Max Kepler, and we are in a very unusual situation because we're in a back of the production of Nutcracker. Dustin could be now like a light bulb on a Christmas tree if we put him a little closer. How do you feel?
You know, I feel like I could be in the ballet.
You are in the ballet right now.
We're literally moments before the production.
Yes, we're like 1 hour before, but actually we are like professionals, so this is for us not so exciting as much, you know, kind of nerve-wracking. We want to go on stage.
So it's kind of a regular season game for Max.
Yes.
How come Max, he never participated in any?
He said one day to me when we'd say, would you like to try ballet? He said, you know, Papa, you and Mommy, that's enough for one family. And that was it. I mean, we never pushed him any further.
And you met your wife, Kathy, at this opera house?
Yes, we both danced on this stage. That was my first stage in Berlin I came into. Second in Germany when I left, defected from Poland.
This is your home
It's my
ballpark?
home when I started. I was 18 when I practically started my career, so.
Well, thanks for having us. Let's take a
Let's
look around.
go. Let's go.
Well, Marek is very important for the dance community, not only in Berlin, but in the whole world, because first of all, he's working with children.
She actually danced the lead role tonight.
Lead role?
Yes, she's the leader.
He's always traveling, trying to find children to come to the school.
What do you know about Minnesota?
No, we come from Italy.
Italy?
But he also has a very good heart and a very good eye to find talented children.
And as a dancer yourself and your wife, how competitive was it?
You don't want to get sick, you don't want to get worse, you want to improve, you want to be by all audition, all the choreographers coming, just like, you know, the similarities are amazing.
Did Max see that pressure that you guys were under as performers?
I don't think so. I mean, he saw the performances, but I don't think he understood what we're going through. He had a normal childhood. We didn't tell him, you know, I had so horrible day today, you know, the guy wanted my role, you know, I'm so upset.
He seems like a very relaxed baseball player. He's been under a lot of pressure, obviously, to get to the major leagues, but now that he's there, he's...
When he was a kid, his mom always told him, have a poker face, have a poker face. So maybe that's where it comes from. This is one of the oldest ballet studios. The studio in floor 4, where the life of Max began. Because that was the place I stood, and Kathy came to that door there in '83. This is the room I met. I saw her first time. Yes.
He's mentioned before he saw I had these lace socks on and I had glasses. So that was probably very novel for him.
And she walked in the studio, and I remember she had a very funny socks, and then she had these big glasses with rhinestones, and I was a little bit looking like that's not normal. But I remember that was it, basically. That was,
wow, this is like a love story right here.
This was the life story. I mean,
Mark met Kathy.
Max and his sister Emma grew up in the same home their parents live in today. It was there that Marek made dinner for us, Max, and a few family friends.
I'm cooking, that's the first part, and I'm making dinner.
Entertaining is a Kepler family specialty.
It's a shame I wasn't there to help him, but he did a fantastic job. He's a great cook, and he does love to entertain.
There's the star. Look.
Whoa. The kids also grew up with that, you know, having a lot of music in the house, a lot of people.
This is what was my room.
Looks like your dad flipped it into an office.
Yeah, he made it his space.
Is this weight set yours, or is that?
I used to use that when I was in my early teens. I don't think my dad really uses it anymore. It's more like a rack for his clothes. He hangs his clothes on it. This is where we sit down and watch movies together.
Your dad had some music playing earlier when we first walked in. I don't know if it's called classical or opera.
Classical, yeah. That's how they'd wake us up, just blast classical in the morning.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's back in the prime, 2009 or 2010 maybe.
This is the mushroom sauce for the beef, and this is the duck. This is the sauce for the duck.
I would like to put the toast for the person, thanks to who we're all here. Max, it's for you. We're super, you cannot imagine how proud we are for you. Man. You know, every time when we visit your father or we just speak on the phone, he was like, you know, oh, my son is playing today. He was like, let's watch on the TV and stuff like that. So we're all watching most of your games. Just that you know, you're far, but you're really close.
Thank
you,
for man.
you, for your success.
Love you, man.
Question night.
For your success.
Thank you.
Germany has to be proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Coming up, a road trip to Regensburg.
It was absolutely magical, and Max was like, I could see his eyes. He's like, I'm moving here.
And the home of Europe's premier baseball academy.
Yeah, welcome to Regensburg.
This is The Pursuit, from Berlin to the Bigs, on Fox Sports North. Regensburg, Germany, located in the southeastern state of Bavaria. this place has historical charm. Ancient-looking cobblestones, old-fashioned beer gardens, and the twisting turns of the Danube River encircle the city where time stands still.
But there's not a lot of standing still here at Armin Wolf Arena. While much of Europe is preserving, this place is progressive.
It's awesome. Like, I was talking to my strength and conditioning coordinator this year. He asked me, like, where would you like to spend the off season? I was like, I'm really like comfortable come back here to Regensburg because we have everything here. We have like big gym, we have professional surroundings. Regensburg was always the big baseball city, so biggest talents go to Regensburg. So when Marty, back at that time, Martin Brunner, when he offered me to have a spot here, I was really honored because it's like one of the biggest academies, if not one of the biggest baseball cities in Europe.
Yeah, welcome to Regensburg. Behind me you see our baseball complex that has been grown in the last 30 years.
After his own stint of professional baseball in the States, Martin Brunner returned home knowing German ball players needed help. The vision of the Bavarian Baseball Academy took hold. Martin became a driving force behind a new facility unlike any other in Europe. This is where Max lived when he moved away from home for the first time. He was 14 years old.
Then of course Martin Brunner, it was Christmas, so he took us to the most romantic, chanting Christmas market in all of Germany. It was absolutely magical, and Max was like, I could see his eyes, he's like, I'm moving here, you know, and it is a beautiful city. And so when we got on the train on the way back to Berlin, he goes, Mom, I'm gonna be moving there after Christmas. I said, ha ha ha, like, right, no you're not, like over my dead body. He left in 2008. On his birthday, we you know, even when I think about it, I mean, it's like, it was hard, you know, it's hard. It was a very hard time. You know, you give up your child. His sister, Emma, was angry. She said, you took my brother away from me. You know, so it was a very hard time in our family because, you know, we knew things were gonna change. Not that they were gonna change in a bad way, but we knew that everything was not gonna be the same.
When I got to Regensburg, it was baseball 24/7. But I was a first baseman and a pitcher when I got there, and he saw an outfielder in me. So I don't know where I'd be if I was still playing first or pitching, but I soaked it up, enjoyed it, and fell in love with it. And yeah, I don't think without that step I would be where I am today.
The biggest thing about it was that people might smile at you, yeah, in Germany and baseball and make it to the big leagues. Dream on, you know, it seems so unrealistic. But especially with Max and Donald, both kind of paved the way. Nobody can say anymore, no, that's not possible.
Wenn der es hört, dann weiß was für ein Pitch kommt. Macht das Sinn? Habt ihr das verfolgt, was ich gesagt habe?
A lot more kids can publicly say, I dream about becoming a major league player, and nobody can laugh about them anymore because there's people who've done it.
I want to do that too. I want to reach the majors. But then there's this one guy, one of the faces of one of the baseball clubs in the MLB. Seeing that just gives you this little punch back on your path to reach your goals.
Max's journey has been phenomenal. You know, he fell in love with baseball and he stuck with it. I'm sure it wasn't easy at times. I know that it meant leaving home at a young age, persevering, and like he's now one of our fastest rising stars. And what a fantastic inspiration that is to anyone else.
It's surreal to me. Out of my perspective, it's just like talking to, you know, another one of me and talking to another buddy of mine, but watching it from there, getting to see, you know, all the faces and the reactions, it gave me goosebumps, you know, just to see that I have the capability to make an impact to, you know, the baseball community.
Und habt ihr alle Spaß gehabt?
Yeah. You can tell by the smiling kids, you know, that you're affecting them, so it's an honor.
Hi Halide, wie geht's? Wir sind hier beim Baseball.
To get to, you know, play a role of making an impact in Germany is truly humbling, and I wish I can just, you know, make the most out of it and continue to grow the game and make kids happy.